Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be exploring the darker, more savage origins of everyone's favorite lovey-dovey holiday, Valentine's Day. Nowadays, Valentine's Day conjures up images of chocolate, roses, sappy greeting cards, and adorable winged cherubs aiming their bows and arrows at unsuspecting lovers. But it hasn't always been so squeaky clean and candy-coated. In fact, the history of Valentine's Day is soaked in paganism, bizarre fertility rituals, and even violence. The modern commercialized version of Valentine's Day is a far cry from the holiday's roots. Under all the pink hearts and roses lies a shadowy history of lust, paganism, and morbidity that would make for a very different kind of Valentine's card. What began as an innocent feast day evolved into a bizarre Roman fertility festival before being reimagined for the Christian era. But traces of the macabre still lurk behind Cupid's cheerful facade. See, before Valentine's Day was associated with romance, it originated as a Christian feast day, honoring one or more early saints named Valentine. The Catholic Church recognizes at least 3 different martyred saints named Valentine, all of whom were killed around 278 to 280 AD. One legend says that Valentine was a priest who continued to perform marriages for young lovers in secret, even after Emperor Claudius too outlawed marriage for young men, because he believed single men made better soldiers. Valentine was executed for defying the emperor. According to the story, he sent a farewell letter to his secret young lover and signed it "From your Valentine" before his death, sparking the tradition of exchanging Valentine's greetings and love notes that continues to this day. But the roots of Valentine's Day go back even further than that. See, the ancient Romans had a pagan festival called Lupercalia, which took place every year on February 15th. This fertility festival celebrated Faunus, the Roman god of agriculture, along with Romulus and Remus, the legendary founders of Rome. The festivities ensured health, fertility, and productivity over the coming year. Lupercalia was a raucous, no-holds-barred celebration of fertility, filled with all kinds of lurid and licentious behavior. Young men and women would be paired off in a random matching ritual, similar to today's dating apps. But even more outrageous were the festival's violent and sexual pagan rituals, involving sacrificial animals and physical beatings meant to promote fertility. By comparison, our modern Valentine's traditions seem downright prudish and conservative. But it had some pretty savage and bizarre pagan rituals that would make Hallmark a little squeamish. One of the main events was the sacrificing of a goat and dog, whose bloody hides would then be sliced into lashes and strips. Men would take these and whip women with them in the streets. This was supposed to make the ladies fertile and have an easy delivery if they got pregnant in the coming year. The whipping ritual was seen as a way to imbue women with the vitality from the bloody sacrifices. But it would be seen as barbaric today. Young women voluntarily subjected themselves to this painful ritual out of a desperate desire for fertility and motherhood. So this brutal pagan origin is a far cry from the gentle romance we associate with Valentine's Day now. It's bizarre to think such violence was once seen as a prelude to love and romance. Women also put their names in a giant urn, and young single men would draw names out at random to pair up with a woman for the duration of the festival, kind of like a temporary Tinder match before dating apps existed. Some of these matches would end up getting married afterward. So our modern Valentine's Day customs like exchanging love notes, seeking romantic matches, and celebrating love are diluted versions of these kinky, bloody pagan mating rituals from Lupercalia. The random matching of couples for courtship seems tame compared to the whipping rituals, but it was still a very sexually charged lottery aimed at increasing marriages and births. The young Romans were eager and willing participants in these licentious pagan rituals, which would be considered too wild and immoral nowadays. Ironically, the festival evolved into one of the most clean-cut holidays, celebrating love and commitment. And it wasn't just the rituals that had a dark, savage side. Even the iconic symbols of Valentine's Day are rooted in more sensual origins than you realize. Take Cupid, for example. Today, he's seen as a cute cherub who makes people fall in love by striking them with his arrows. But Cupid was originally based on the Greek and Roman gods of love and desire, Eros and Cupid. He was portrayed not as a cuddly infant, but as a handsome young man who evoked fiery passion and lust in people's hearts, often leading to total madness and obsession. His arrows didn't signify gentle romance. They burned with an unquenchable, dangerous desire that consumed lovers. The ancient Latin poet Ovid wrote about how Cupid took revenge on Apollo, the god of music and knowledge, for mocking his small size and boyish weapons. Though just a child, Cupid shot Apollo with a golden arrow, making him fall madly in love with the nymph Daphne. When Daphne rejected him, he was filled with such fiery longing that he relentlessly chased her until she turned into a laurel tree to escape him. Don't underestimate Cupid and love's volatile power, Ovid warned. The famous Roman writer Apuleius also established Cupid as a savage, unpredictable force in his story about Psyche and Cupid. Venus, Cupid's mother, commanded him to make the Princess Psyche fall for a wretched monster. But Cupid fell for Psyche himself and secretly married her. When Psyche is eventually reunited with Cupid after betraying his trust, she has to complete dangerous tasks for Venus as penance before they can be together. Throughout the story, Cupid is portrayed as a dangerous, primal force that evokes radical emotions in Psyche, both passionate love and paralyzing fear. So as you're handing out heart-shaped boxes of chocolate this Valentine's Day, remember that this holiday has its roots in pagan fertility madness, ritualistic violence, and a view of love as a dangerous force of nature that defies control. It's funny how our modern take on Valentine's Day whitewashes all that and turns it into a pleasant, harmless Hallmark holiday. But it's also fascinating to reflect on the complex, even savage origins of Valentine's traditions and what they reveal about love's unpredictable power. The story of Psyche and Cupid reminds us that falling in love can be thrilling and euphoric, but also scary when you realize you've lost control over your emotions. Love is a primal, volatile force that can uplift us or destroy rational thought. No wonder love has inspired countless centuries of myths, stories, and art. Humans are still trying to understand its mysteries millennia later. While the kinky pagan elements might be gone, that core tension between love's joy and volatility remains today. Just look at all the songs, poems, books, and films about the agony and ecstasy of love. So this Valentine's Day, remember that this holiday is about more than just chocolate and flowers. It's got a long, peculiar history that exposes the messy, savage side of love and attraction. Maybe we should return to the ancient view of it as an unpredictable, untamable force of nature. One that's delightful when it's going right, but also turbulent and ferocious when it spins out of control. That's all I have for you today. Let me know in the comments if you learned anything new or surprising about the origins of Valentine's Day. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more myth-busting videos that explore the freaky hidden histories behind our modern holidays and traditions. Until next time.